Hey y'all, I'm Kristin.
I'm Megan.
And we are the Hale Sisters, as you guys know. We just wanted to stop by and just do a short video on everything that's going on in this world, specifically targeting Black Lives Matter for this discussion. And we've been wanting to do this talk for a while, but we had to make sure that we were in the correct headspace so that we didn't just speak out of emotion, because I kind of speak for myself. Like, my emotions have been on an emotional roller coaster, and for many different reasons. For myself, I would just say that we've been exposed to this for quite some time now, and I was extremely invested back in like the Trayvon Martin case. That was like my first case where I was like adamant, like this man was going to jail and justice would be served. And after that, I've been extremely woke to the situation. So it's been going through these recent events. I first went through like the emotions of just being numb, and I just was like in shock. Like, this is yet another person, yet another hashtag, yet another like unjustified murder. And for myself, like, that was just a lot to deal with. So I kind of am learning myself and realizing that sometimes I'm not ready to process the emotions, so I'm just numb. And then like I said, it was a roller coaster. So I went into anger, I went into frustration, and things like that. But now I feel like I'm at a place where I can feel as though I can be effective and I can actually, think as level-headed as possible. So that's mainly like my experience, I would say, on how I have felt as far as emotions go. But how about you?
Yeah, I would definitely agree when it comes to emotional roller coaster. I was a little different than Kristin, from the sense of, I agree, like Trayvon Martin was probably like our first one that we were, as she said, very diligent in like staying on to like every new thing that would come out, and then to see that literally not happen the way that it should have, honestly, was like very detrimental to us. And so I tried to go a different route in this situation, from the sense of like trying it again. I feel like to be really active and like staying up with like every detail that was given about like the cases and things of that nature. And I realized that like it was just too much for me. I always say that like I'm an emotional person, but I feel as though, in this situation, it was too much for me to carry by myself, should I say. It was like a burden I had taken on, how the families have felt, how other people in my Black community are feeling, and just like all these different things on top of just how I simply feel as Megan, about everything that's going on. And so it just became a lot to continuously, keep looking at the detailed stuff and watching videos and all this stuff. And I realized that I had to like, kind of take a pause on that and backtrack a little bit and just kind of find another way on how to, stay active, keep my ears to the ground kind of thing, and just like stay up to date, but just not intake too much for me and like my emotions. So I went through, the whole like low-key depressed situation, like anxiety was high, which I feel like that's something that I'm still working on when it comes to like not being too anxious, and just living your life, because I feel like whether we like it or not, like it can happen to any of us. And so for me, one of the things that I am recognizing is sometimes I still am like super anxious about like walking out and being like, is this person just gonna freak out on me today and then I'm gonna be the one? Or I know that all cops are not bad cops. However, when I see a uniform, I don't first think like, I wonder if we're gonna take a picture. Like, I think like, how can I avoid having any sort of contact with them? And so it's very different lifestyles, as many people have stated. But that's something that I'm trying to like find a balance on. And one minute, like, I'm excited for the sense of the Black community all coming together and uniting as one, to make a difference. But then at the same time, it's sad that we even have to keep doing this. We continuously pull out a new hashtag, and it's not because we want to, it's just the fact that it continuously happens and we can't even keep up. So it's definitely been a lot. Those have kind of been my experiences. I was talking to Kristin earlier about like finding ways to use our platforms like we're doing now, and just like using our voice in a way that's like doable for both of us, not putting on too much for us emotionally, but also like making sure that like while we have this chance, we're like taking advantage of it to make a change in our community and just to make a change as to how Black people are treated in America. So that's kind of my experience. I know we're gonna like kind of go a little more into detail as to the ways that you guys can help as well, and things that are just a little more tangible, tips and tools and things of that nature.
Yeah. So I'll give two that I like. So the first one for me is I am huge on mental health and mental stability. Because once you lose your mind, you lose everything. And I definitely feel like in life in general, but definitely in the African American community, we are at a higher risk of mental diseases and mental illnesses, simply from the fact that we just go untreated with like stress and things that we're dealing with, and trauma. It traces back so far, but. As far as us right now in 2020, one thing that I really urge, and I've definitely been urging Megan to do, is for myself, like I stopped watching videos. So like I did not watch any video after Philando Castile. I did not watch. So I've just seen pictures, I've just seen articles, I've seen different things like that, but I cannot handle the videos. And for myself, I would watch the videos and that would lead me down a rabbit hole, and I'm watching everything. I know your kids' names. It's just too much. It's very much too much. So it's important for you to know your boundaries and to know what you can and cannot handle, and also like not taking on the burden that you are now like not doing enough, or you're now like not woke enough, just because you can't handle some certain situations, like the whole George Floyd, even the picture, I can't even look at the picture, and it's not even so much that I'm trying to escape reality, because I know I've heard that a lot, not even escaping reality, but actually living in my reality. And in my reality, watching someone die is not healthy. We don't show animals dying. We don't show anything like that to normal situations growing up that we deem as inhumane. And so that at this point is just honestly desensitizing us to the things that happen to our community. And so that's one thing I would definitely urge you to do, is either don't watch the videos, and or limit your amount of time on social media, and like watching the news and things of that nature, because when you are just flooding yourself with all of that information, it begins to be way too much, and especially for one person to handle. So that would be my first tip, is check your mental health. And then my second tip would be, I know like Megan and myself, we went to a protest, and that was the first one we've ever been to. It was a pretty dope experience. For me, it definitely helped me in the sense of seeing other people who don't look like me, other people who did not go through the situations that I've gone through or live the life that I live, still out there yelling with me and being as passionate, if not more, for some of them, than me on a situation such as Black Lives Matter. So that was definitely a dope experience, but there are also other things that you can do as well that is not just protesting. And even if you are out there protesting, you still need to do this other stuff as well. And I'll let Megan kind of get into what that is, but just to know that protesting is showing that we have a voice and showing that we're here, but we have to do other things to actually cultivate that change.
Yeah, for sure. I would say the one thing that I know Kristin is like referring to is voting.
It's so important, y'all. Even if your person loses.
Important. And honestly, like I know I've heard this before. It's like I don't like either party, and that is very real.
Very real.
Okay, it's a lot of times we don't always love our president, but I do think it's important to vote and choose who is the best fit for you, who is the best fit that's gonna do the things that you wanna see done for you and in your community and whatever else it is you wanna see a change in, because that's important. And if you just let everybody else choose, it takes away your right that you were given to have some sort of say. And at least, I don't know, it's just for me, I feel better like, okay, I at least made it known as to who I wanted. So I think it's important to definitely go out there and vote. Kristin had a situation where she, I'm like, go ahead, I'll let you tell it really quick.
Okay, so long story short, I've been registered to vote since I was 18 years old, and I have actively voted at every election because I think it's important. And so recently I was watching a video on checking your voting status online at, I believe it's vote.org. And I was like, well, let me just go look to see what it looks like, whatever. I go on there and type in all my information, and it says no results found. I was like, what?
She wasn't even on there, y'all.
Exactly, and then it sends you to like your state, and you can like look in your state, and it said like that I was not active, which I really don't understand because I literally this year went and was like registered to vote, made sure my address was up to date and things of that nature, and they got the nerve to say that I am not active. So it's really important, and then I had to go through like a whole bunch of loopholes to like do it, but so definitely check out your status online.
Sure you are
even if you
registered.
think you are registered.
Make sure you're registered, even if you think it.
Ridiculous.
She told me that story and I was like, that's crazy. Like, I didn't even think to check myself, but that is something I'll definitely be doing. But yeah, I definitely think voting is one huge thing, very big. And it is also good to get the research on even the people like in your own state and cities, who you're voting for, because sometimes those little names we think don't make a difference or like don't matter that much when truly they do. So definitely voting would be one of my tips or suggestions. The second thing is signing petitions. I know there have been a lot out here in regards to almost every single case that's come out. There are some that are just all kind of, bunched together as well. So like taking the time to do your research, like if you're not a person that feels comfortable going out to protest and make a difference with your voice, like there's another way that you can use your voice, and that can be behind the scenes with the whole COVID-19 happening. Like that thing is real, and we understand you wanting to put your safety and your family first. So definitely going online. I have a link on my page, and I don't know, I'm sure we'll put some stuff for you guys to have as well, but definitely signing petitions I think is a huge thing, because truly so many things have changed, or so many cases have been reopened just from us forcing it to happen by simply signing your name and being like, this needs to happen. So I definitely encourage that. And then lastly, I would encourage for everyone to be very gracious with themselves during this time. Like, from like a white person, like give grace to your Black people. They're going through a lot. It's been a hard time on a lot of people. So I just don't want it to come across like it's a personal attack if like they may seem like they are, isolating themselves or things of that nature. It's just something that we as Black people have to deal with, and we've low-key been accustomed to having to deal with it by ourselves. So just having some sort of level of grace and understanding during these times, and then vice versa, with Black people, have grace on each other as to how we handle it. Like, everybody can't do it the same way. That's why we're all different people. Like, we can't be the full hand. Everybody has to play their parts. And so definitely just do your best to give grace to everybody in the positions that they're trying to play, the roles that they're trying to play. Because we're all out here just trying to make it, y'all. And the only way that we can really do that is together. So hopefully this helps you guys. I know this is something that has helped us getting these type of informations and like staying up to date. But yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest things that we wanted to give you guys.
So yeah, and as Megan said, there's lots of tips and tricks and things that we can do to not only help the situation, but also help ourselves through what we're going through. So ultimately, is boiling down to like grace and togetherness. So giving yourself and everyone else around you grace, and also
staying united.
Yeah, literally coming together, no matter the race, no matter the political background and things like that, but just coming together for a cause that needs to change.
For sure.
So we hope that this was helpful. Definitely comment. We like to have dialogue. Don't say nothing ignorant because they will delete it.
Period.
And yeah.
And definitely if you have like other, petitions and things like that that we may not list or things of that, like that, feel free to leave those in the comments. We're more than open to like welcoming more tools, more research, more tips and things like that. So definitely feel free to do that, guys. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully this was helpful for some of y'all.
Yes. And we'll see y'all later.